Emma,
Daniel, my dear.
wonderful to see you.
That creature. Just look at that dress. Shameless.
Elizabeth! Welcome home. Where did you get it? You look splendid.
It's absolutely the latest fashion, direct from Paris. Do say you like it, Albert.
Only a blind man could fail to express his admiration. Miss Callan, Fogarty.
Thank you for an entertaining voyage, Mr. Fogarty.
My pleasure, Mrs. Fraser.
Of course, I shall never wear a crinoline again. They are so démodé. What was that wretch doing aboard your ship?
She was a passenger.
Passenger, indeed. Now, let me tell you, Daniel Fogarty.
No, Miss Emma Callan, I will not permit you to tell me. Not here, not in public. If you wish to raise your voice like a fishwife, then do so in the privacy of my office. It's nothing more than an unfortunate coincidence.
I would not trust her an inch.
On the way back from Paris, she took passage aboard the first ship bound for Liverpool.
She is a faithless creature and has proved so in the past, as you well know.
May God preserve me from spiteful and jealous women.
I had reason for jealousy once. Or do you choose to forget that she was once carrying your child?
I would forget the sooner were you not so bent on constantly reminding me.
One reminder, sir, has romantical notions and a hobbledehoy skirt that disgraces the name of womanhood.
We were aboard the ship for a day and a night,
Exactly.
in the company of 20 seamen and 7 other passengers. And I can assure you that at all times, both Mrs. Fraser and myself behaved with the utmost circumspection.
You're sure it was naught but a coincidence?
Well, of course it was a... Although I wouldn't put it past James Onedin.
What?
Well, he and Albert Fraser would like nothing better than to cause a rift between you and I.
Mr. Onedin's away. And Mr. Fraser is too honourable a gentleman to risk his wife's reputation.
Then it was a coincidence. Are we agreed?
Sorry, Daniel. I know I'm green-eyed with jealousy, but I can't help it.
Poor Emma. Well, there's only one way you can save me from the wiles of designing women.
Daniel.
You must name the day.
I do wish you had consulted me earlier, Mrs. Onedin.
It was nothing, Doctor, just a stitch. Slight attack of stomach cramps.
Which you imagine to be one of the disorders to which your sex is subject,
Yes.
I will not hide it from you, Mrs. Onedin. This disorder is of a more serious nature and is directly connected with your recent miscarriage. And you know, your medical history over the past 4 years has been, well, not good.
Oh, that was nothing.
Pain, Mrs. Onedin, is part of God's mercy, and we ignore his warnings at our peril. You have a fine house, servants to do your bidding. You're more fortunate than most.
Yes, James is a good husband.
And an affectionate one.
We hold each other in very high regard, if that is your meaning.
That is not my meaning.
Oh.
I will speak plainly, Mrs. Onedin. Under no circumstances must you bear children.
I cannot have a child. Ever?
I did not say that. I said you must not.
My husband, he so longs for a son.
Out of the question. I'm sorry.
What can I say? How can I possibly tell him?
I can spare you that embarrassment. When Mr. Onedin gets back...
No. I shall tell him myself on his return.
Come aboard, Captain. Visiting ships is the only hospitality we have in this godforsaken port. You been to Zanzibar before, Captain?
No, this is my first experience.
I'll make it your last. Thank you.
I've known worse.
They're venal. Every last one of them venal.
I beg your pardon, Captain. There's a boat approaching.
That'll be his nibs.
Is who?
Said Ben Salim. Calls himself a sheikh.
What do you call him?
A scoundrel, sir. A scoundrel.
Sheikh Said Ben Salim.
Salam, Captain Onedin.
Greetings, Your Excellency.
Captain Franks, it is a pleasure to meet you again.
It's a one-sided pleasure. When do I start discharging cargo?
Alas, Captain, the lighters are not yet free of their other
There'll be
commitments.
no more presents, no more backsheesh. Is that clear?
Such small offerings as you have made from the goodness of your heart have the blessings of Allah.
Not another dime. Now, you start your boys unloading my ships right now, or you're going to have my consul breathing down your neck. Sheik. Good day, Captain. Captain, pleasure.
The Americans are a forthright race, but they do have an unhappy tendency of exporting their virtues as well as their goods.
A wise man acknowledges the customs of a strange country. Well, Your Excellency, will you take a seat?
Thank
Can I offer you some refreshment?
you. I regret my religion forbids the taking of alcohol.
Well, man doesn't, but I never did take much to John Barleycorn. This climate, I prefer lemonade.
That I find most unusual, Captain. It is my experience that most Europeans drink not so much to satisfy their thirst, but to inflame their passions.
It is written that the fruit of the zacchum tree shall truly be the food of sinners. Like scalding water, it shall simmer in his belly.
You are a true believer, Captain?
Oh, no, I'm not of the faith.
It is also written, he that reveres the Koran shows the piety of his heart.
Aye, well, I bought a bit more than piety. Have your finest Americano. 20 such rolls. As a gift for Your Excellency. Also for Your Excellency. A small gift smooths even the path of the righteous.
Most thoughtful, Captain. How many bales of Americani do you have for sale?
12,000 such rolls. 200 cases of muskets and ammunition. All at a fair price.
A fair price, Captain, is one that gives satisfaction to both parties. What is your first price?
Well, now, for how many rolls?
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Onedin.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Mr. Robert Onedin.
Yes, I am.
My name is Mitchell, sir, my card.
Oh, Mr. Mitchell, you're a tea merchant then?
Yes, but that is not the purpose of my business. I had hoped to have the privilege of meeting Mr. James Onedin.
Oh, well, I'm afraid you've made a fruitless journey, sir. My brother is away.
Yes, I understand. That's why I came to see you.
Oh, well, if I can be of any assistance,
Yes, I'm a shareholder of the Onedin steamship line.
Oh, well, sir, Mr. Mitchell, I am very pleased to make your acquaintance. Sorry. Yes, during my brother's absence, I am responsible for the business affairs of the company.
A responsibility you share with Mr. Fraser and your chairman, Mr. Fogarty.
That's quite right, yes. Thank you. Oh, George.
Do Onedin Line directors normally conduct their business in the street, Mr. Onedin?
I do ask your pardon, sir. Would you come this way, please?
Yes, thank you.
This is my wife, Mr. Mitchell.
You do?
Oh, my pleasure indeed, ma'am. You'll find us in a pretty pickle, I'm afraid.
Tea, please, Rachel.
Tea. Oh,
Some of those little scones.
things are happening here.
Oh, for heaven's sake, wash your hands, girl.
We open a large warehouse.
Oh, I do apologize for the disorder, Mr. Mitchell.
Oh, on the contrary, it's I should apologize for calling at such an inconvenient moment. I do understand, Mrs. Onedin, that business does not stand upon ceremony.
Oh, yes. Would you care for a glass of wine, sir?
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. Thank you.
It is so inconvenient. You simply have nowhere to turn. Excuse me. Oh, Rachel.
So you're a shareholder, you said then, Mr. Mitchell. Well, you've invested wisely, sir.
I think not, sir. The company has as yet paid not 1 penny in dividends.
Oh, well, it will, sir. It will.
But not until the ship is launched. And if you'll forgive me saying so, Mr. Onedin, that seems to be taking an unconscionably long time. Your health, sir.
Yes, well, of course, Mr. Fraser is our designer, and I can assure you that I have the utmost confidence in him.
Yes, I have taken the liberty of calling upon Mr. Fraser and indeed upon Mr. Fogarty, but neither gentleman was at home. The matter, therefore, rests with you, Mr. Onedin.
Oh. What matter?
How unforgivably remiss of me. No, I wish to dispose of my shares.
Oh, well, then, if that is your wish, sir, far be it from me to, how many shares do you have on offer?
5,000.
5,000? Well, that's the 5% that James needs in order to regain control of the company.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's all right, Robert. I can manage.
So you have shares on offer, sir. And what price are you asking?
They're on offer to the highest bidder. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. and Mrs. Fraser?
Yes?
I've just come from Mr. Robert Onedin's premises. My name is Mitchell.
Highest bidder. It's outrageous.
Well, who can blame the man? He knows well enough that whoever gains control of those shares gains control of the company.
Well, we can't possibly afford to buy
Oh, it's
them.
out of the question. I mean, all these extensive repairs and alterations will take every penny of our capital. Oh, where is James? Why isn't he here?
That Fogarty will seize this opportunity with both hands, you mark my words. And James has nobody to blame but himself. Excuse me.
Find a way of foisting the blame onto me. You mark my words.
Well, what can you do? The price that Mr. Mitchell is asking is quite beyond our reach.
And even if we had the money, I mean, Fogarty would outbid us. Well, Sarah, there's only one thing for it.
What are you thinking of now?
Well, I'll have to send a cable to James. Tell him to come home straight away. And whatever happens, Mr. Mitchell must not find out that we don't have the money.
But he'll call again.
Of course he will. But we won't be here.
What?
We're taking a holiday. And we're taking it now.
I approached the other shareholders and persuaded them to sell to me.
And now you're offering them for £10,000.
When you paid only 2,500 for them.
Whoever controls those shares, madam, controls the company. In your husband's position, I would have thought the sum of £10,000 a remarkably small amount to pay in the furtherance of a lifetime's ambition.
I don't know what my partner's reaction to your offer would be, but in my opinion, the shares are not worth half that sum.
How much do you suppose they might be worth to, Mr. Fogarty?
Have you already approached him?
Oh, not yet.
But you intend to?
Obviously.
I must warn you, sir, that Mr. Fogarty is a man with a hasty temper. Should you have the temerity to approach him the way you've approached me, he may very well pitch you through the nearest window.
I shall simply have to take that risk.
A bid good day to you, sir.
Just a moment, Mr. Mitchell. It would appear, sir, that you're not particularly well informed. The struggle for control of the Onedin Line is between James Onedin and Daniel Fogarty. Well, those two gentlemen hold the purse strings. So you've nothing to lose, and perhaps much to gain by awaiting James Onedin's return.
Thank you, Mrs. Fraser. Perhaps I might take your advice. Good day to you.
I cannot see what you hope to gain, beyond setting James and Fogarty at one another's throats.
James has yet to be bested in a bargain. He will wrest those shares from Mr. Mitchell by fair means or foul. I don't know how anyone can possibly work in that pandemonium. It defies the imagination. And that heat, it must ruin the complexion.
Listen.
What is it?
The steam hammer. It started on the keel.
Why, Mr. Fogarty?
You overstep your authority, Fraser.
Ah, the great Panjandrum himself, hot foot from the yards, no doubt.
I understand that you've given instructions on behalf of the company
To lay at the keel of me steamship. The work's in progress.
On whose authorization?
My contract stipulates that I'm to design and build a steamship. The designs are completed.
But the specifications have yet to be agreed upon.
They have been agreed upon. Between myself and Mr. Robert Onedin.
Robert?
We're merely carrying out James's instructions.
Do you have these instructions in writing?
Robert has. I'd take it up with him if I were you. Come, Elizabeth.
Not so fast, Fraser.
You're disturbing the cut of my suit. If you would oblige me by removing your hand, I'll overlook your boorish behavior for once.
If you pair of louts must brawl, kindly do it in private. Albert, your arm, if you please.
Then it is settled.
Yes, we are agreed. However, having disposed of one cargo, I should very much like to pick up another.
For the purchase of which you will require my good offices?
For which you will be rewarded amply.
Mm-hmm. It is a pleasure to transact business with one of such delicate understanding. Come.
Well, I shall require copal, hides, ivory.
It shall all be arranged. And in return, you shall perform for me one small service.
Oh?
A party of my countrymen wish to make the holy pilgrimage to Mecca.
Pilgrims? Board a British ship. Is not the harbour of Zanzibar full of dhows only too eager for such traffic?
A dhow will carry but a dozen, and the journey north to the port of Jeddah is long and arduous.
What would their fare be?
We would have to discuss that, of course.
Just pilgrims? No freight, no cargo?
But of course.
Well, I had hoped to go south, via the Cape, you know, and then on home.
Why not return by way of Suez?
A sailing ship through the Suez Canal? Oh, out of the question.
It is not unknown. A steam tug could tow your ship through the canal.
A steam tug? That'd blow a pretty hole in my profits.
It would considerably shorten your journey.
Well, I thought I'd stop off at Natal. Top off with cotton, you know.
Egyptian cotton is of better quality and is available at port side.
And I could drop off your pilgrims on the way.
Exactly.
Said, where lies your profit in this? I mean, are not pilgrims poor men who shift for themselves, eh?
Indeed. But these have booked passage through me.
And what do you charge them for taking them to Jeddah, eh?
£2 a head would be your payment.
£2 a head? Not worth the trouble.
For 250 pilgrims, Captain. It's a telegraph addressed to you. It has come by way of your consulate.
Excuse me. Buy, you dolt. Buy at once, whatever the cost. Your Excellency, I must return to Liverpool at once.
Then you must go by way of Suez. It seems Allah the Wise has resolved our problem.
Very well, I'll take your pilgrims. £4 a head.
Agreed.
Cash in advance.
You've been brought low, daughter. Very low.
Oh, nonsense, Father. It's nothing more than a woman's ailment. I shall be up and about shortly.
What's all this rubbish you've been dosing yourself with? Pills and potions, quackery and mumbo-jumbo, not worth the powder and shot. What you want is a glass of brandy in Portugal. That would bring the colour back to your cheeks.
Well, Robert was kind enough to bring me a bottle of medicinal wine.
No doubt sampled the contents himself first. Pa's Life Pill.
From Sarah.
Guaranteed to prolong life, animate the features, and invigorate the body. Eternal life at twopence a box. Duffy's Elixir.
From Mr. Baines.
Oh, well recall having that spoon into me when I was a boy.
It's done you little harm, Father. You'll outlive us all.
What ails you, child? What really ails you?
I've told you.
So you have. But at times you can be as close-mouthed as that husband of yours. Where the devil is he?
On his way home, Robert sent him a telegraph.
I've little regard for the rogue, but I'd give a guinea at this moment to see him standing in that doorway.
Did he pass me my purse?
Yeah.
Good luck, money.
I've lost all taste for charity.
Oh, it's not charity. You know perfectly well that James and I were first married. He struck a bargain that you would not want in your old age. Well, he's kept to that bargain.
I'll grant him that. I've everything I need and nothing I want. I've become a well-dressed beggar with his hand eternally outstretched.
Would you prefer a settlement? Say, 2 guineas each and every week?
Well, he'd never agree to that.
It'll be arranged. In writing this time.
In writing? Why in writing?
For your own peace of mind, of course. Why else?
For yours, perhaps. You're dissembling, child.
Oh, take your guinea and go, Father. I know it must be burning a hole in your pocket.
That son-in-law of mine has kept to the letter of his bargain simply because you've always been here to see that he does. Is that your fear?
I don't know what you mean. Oh, my medicine. Can you pass my medicine? Is that little brown bottle?
Laudanum. Is the pain as bad as that, then?
Oh.
Oh, there, child. There.
Time for prayer approaches. Would you be kind enough to indicate the direction of Mecca, Captain? Thank you, Captain. Allah will reward you.
You might use your influence and ask for some wind.
The wind blows where and when Allah wills.
These pilgrims of yours, all Negroes.
All true believers are equal in the eyes of Allah.
Your true believers are going to have some difficulty directing their prayers, aren't they?
Directing?
Well, being enclosed as they are, how can they tell north from south or east from west?
They are instructed.
Said, if you've turned me into a slaver, your Allah had better be forgiving and merciful. I won't.
Rachel, bring in that chicken as well, will you? It's on bottom shelf there, love.
Oh, yes, the cargo manifest of the Charlotte Roads, Captain Baines.
A load of bricks for the Isle of Man.
Yes, that's right, Captain.
Oh, thank you. And now the fruit. Mr. Onedin's special treat.
We clear on the next tide, sir.
That's right, Captain. Now, what are you waiting for?
What's our return cargo?
Oh, Rachel, do slice that ham thin, love, will you?
What? Oh, return cargo. Well, whatever we can pick up.
Is this all right, love?
In my brother's absence, Captain Baines, I'm responsible for ship management. I shall therefore take this journey with you, just to keep an eye on things.
But if it's only a load of house bricks...
When we reach the Isle of Man, Captain Baines, I will conduct the business affairs.
Mr. James has always trusted me, sir.
Now, do wash your hands, girl. We're combining business with pleasure, Captain Baines.
Pleasure, ma'am?
Yes. During these extensive alterations, we are taking a well-earned holiday, Captain Baines. So I will thank you to see that our luggage is safely stowed aboard the Charlotte Rhodes. Thank you.
Right. Stand by to wear ship. Helm down, quartermaster.
What are you doing? I'm taking advantage of the offshore wind.
But, Captain, the port of Jeddah lies in that direction.
Aye, but the wind is blowing in that direction.
But if we keep on this course, we cannot put into Jeddah.
Well, as Your Excellency so aptly put it, the wind blows whither Allah wills it.
But you signed a contract and gave your word.
Ah, to carry pilgrims. You lied to me. You falsified the contract, therefore I'm no longer bound by its terms.
You have no choice, Captain. There is no port open to you but Jeddah.
My country's laws bear down heavily upon those who traffic in slaves. Put both me and my ship at risk.
Well, then put into Jeddah, Captain. There is no risk under Arabian law.
Only profit, eh? You ship them out at £4 a head and then sell them for 40.
Well, that is business. We can come to an arrangement.
Oh, we shall, Said, we shall. For you make me run a double risk. Let me see now. Under Zanzibar law, you are allowed to keep slaves, but you must not export them or import them. Penalties for such transgressions are quite severe.
You're not thinking of returning them to Zanzibar?
Risk being held by a British or American warship?
Then it would seem your choice is limited. Put into Jeddah, Captain. Take your profit and thank Allah for his beneficent mercy.
For once, I'm not concerned with profit.
It's easy to be noble when you've been paid in advance.
I shall put them ashore on the coast of Africa. Let them take their chance.
They will starve.
And you will give them money. Help pay their passage home.
I pay their passage?
Ah, why not? You brought them to this.
I will not give them money.
In that case, I shall put you ashore with them.
They will kill me.
As Your Excellency so aptly observed, your choice is limited. Oh. Either you pay and stay aboard until Suez, or tomorrow I put you ashore with your pilgrims.
I prefer Suez. But, Captain, do not ever return to Zanzibar.
That chicken be going to waste, ma'am? A nice fat capon. As juicy a morsel as ever I tasted. The Isle of Man coming into sight, sir?
I've seen our friend, Mr. Mitchell. £10,000 he asked for them shares.
Precisely the sum he named to me.
Obviously, you had to refuse.
Oh, I'd have found the money.
But he wanted to try me, see if I'd offered him more.
And, did you?
No, he said he'd wait until James Onedin returns.
It tends to play you off against each other.
Well, I'm in no hurry. I've waited long enough for those shares. I can wait a few weeks more.
Here we are, then. Captain drink this down. It's best beef tea. I made it myself.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth.
We'll have you on your feet and some colour in your cheeks by the time James is home.
I hope so. I hate being a burden.
Nonsense. Now, for the latest gossip. Emma Callan and Daniel Fogarty are to be married on October the 15th.
At last.
And we're all to be invited, so you'll have to be well for that.
Come in. Oh, show the lady in, please, Maggie.
Oh, Emma Callan. No doubt she's here to receive our congratulations.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Oh, my dear Mrs. Onedin, how are you?
Oh, thank you.
Daniel and I were so anxious when we heard of your illness.
Thank you for your concern, Miss Callan, but I've every reason to believe the patient will recover.
Oh. Good morning, Mrs. Fraser. Good morning, Miss Callan. What a dazzling gown. Such bold stripes. Did you make it yourself? No, I had my dressmaker copy it from a London model. The style does require an elegant carriage, of course. Is there any news of Mr. Onedin?
Yes, he's on his way home from Zanzibar.
So you can tell Mr. Fogarty not to count his chickens. Indeed. But is that not a long voyage?
Oh, no. James is coming home by way of the Suez Canal.
Tugboats. They'll make a pretty profit out of the canal.
Off to see the sights, sir, ma'am?
Short walk to stretch our limbs, Mr. Baines.
It was a terrible journey. Terrible.
Well, sir, I found us a return cargo.
Already?
I trust you've not committed us, Mr. Baines.
Ma'am?
My husband will wish to inspect the goods for himself.
Aye. If you'll follow me, sir, ma'am, I'm sure you'll be more than satisfied.
My wife comes from farming stock, Mr. Baines. I think we ought to take a closer look at your bargain. You would do well, Mr. Baines, in future to leave business affairs to me.
Why is that, sir?
The flock is infected.
Eh?
Those sheep have, Mr. Baines, what we in farming circles call foot rot.
What's he doing in the Isle of Man?
Well, he said he was entitled to a holiday, and he'd be back in about a month's time.
Even the bills to pay themselves, I suppose. Well, somebody's got to deal with them.
If you'll forgive me, ma'am, should you be bothering yourself when you're just up from your bed?
Well, what am I to do, sit and watch them pile up?
Now then, you brought back a cargo of oats, barley, potatoes and Manx cloth.
Aye. I had my eye on a flock of Manx muttons, but Mr. Robert reckoned they had something wrong with their feet.
Well, you better discharge the cargo into our warehouse as quickly as possible, Mr. Baines.
Very good, ma'am. If you don't mind me saying so, I think it's you that needs the holiday.
Everyone's so free with their advice. You, my father, the doctor. A business won't run itself.
Well, if Mr. James was here, he'd insist.
Well, he soon will be here, Mr. Baines.
Well, Emma, what do you think of the Pandora?
She's quite beautiful.
I've had it completely refitted and re-rigged. She'll show a clean pair of heels to any ship out of Liverpool.
The Pandora. It's a pretty name.
Oh, more like a rich man's yacht than a working ship.
Such luxury. And who is to command this jewel of the seas?
Me.
You?
She's to set sail for the Mediterranean. How would you like to spend your honeymoon aboard her?
Oh, Daniel. Oh, that would be the most perfect beginning. And I accused you of being unromantic.
What cargo are you carrying, sir?
Part cargo Egyptian cotton.
If you just sign these papers, clearance won't take long. And the other form, if you will, sir. Just sign there, please, sir.
Now, what's all this about dizzy spells and fainting fits?
Nothing more than a gout of the stomach.
Is that what the doctor said?
So many words.
What were his words?
Female complaint.
Well, what treatment did you recommend?
Time. Did you have a successful voyage, James?
Time? If that's the best he can do, we'll get a second opinion.
I have a patent medicine which I'm taking regularly, and he advised a rest.
Oh, that can be arranged. Here. How would you like to go to Harrigan? Take the waters, eh?
Take the... James, think of the cost.
I am. To pay a man for professional advice and then not take it, that's poor business.
I can rest just as easily at home. And I've a poor enough opinion of medicinal waters without wanting to sample them.
How do you know if you haven't
Tell
tried
me
it?
about the Suez Canal. They say it's one of the 8 wonders of the world. What's it really like?
Just a ditch, nothing more. Now, you tell me. What's all this about a need in shares being on offer, eh?
It's true, James. A man named Mitchell holds the balance of 5,000 shares. He's only waiting for your return so that you and Fogarty can bid against each other.
Well, then the sooner the better. I'll arrange for the 3 of us to meet this afternoon.
I doubt Mr. Fogarty will be available.
Oh, why not?
I've just come from his wedding.
So, Fogarty now is Callan and Company.
With the wealth of that company in his hands. So how can you possibly hope to outbid him?
No, Daniel, no. Oh, certainly not.
Emma, be reasonable. It won't take long.
You intend to take yourself off to a business meeting on my wedding day and you ask me to be reasonable.
Emma...
Mr. Mitchell's waited this long. Surely he can wait a little longer.
Not now James Onedin's here. Look, if I'm not there, he'll persuade Mr. Mitchell to sell in those shares.
I thought you said you could outbid him.
Well, I can't outbid him if I'm not there.
But it is my wedding day.
Emma, my love, I must be there, don't you see? Whoever gains control of those shares gains control of the Onedin Line.
But
An hour. No longer, my love, I promise.
Mr. Mitchell, how did you acquire 5,000 shares?
Oh, piecemeal. I approached the other shareholders and bought them out. A few here, a few there.
Took quite a risk, didn't you?
Well, it was a sporting race. Gentlemen, shall we commence the bidding?
You paid £2,500 for those shares. I would say a reasonable offer would be £4,000.
I had in mind a figure nearer 10,000.
You're a rogue, sir.
No, I wouldn't agree. Mr. Mitchell strikes me every inch a sportsman. He puts his money at risk and now he expects to reap the reward, eh?
Thank you, Mr. Onedin. You're a gentleman after my own heart. In return, let me make you a sporting gesture. I'm prepared to accept an opening bid of £5,000.
I'll make it 6.
Mr. Onedin?
Oh, no bid.
Come, sir, this won't do at all. Let me hear 7, sir. Mr. Onedin, you disappoint me. You do indeed. Oh, come, sir, make a match of it.
I'll make you a sporting gesture. Mr. Fogarty here imagines that he's a better ship's captain than myself.
Can't sail the only day of the week, Onedin.
No. Would you care to put that to the test?
At the moment this business is concluded, with pleasure.
You're in the tea business, I understand, Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, I am, but I don't see
Well,
what
the
that
China
is.
tea clippers sail very soon to collect the first of the season's new crop of tea. Now, if Mr. Fogarty here would like to substantiate his boast, I suggest that we sail with them and each bring back 500 tons of tea each for you, free of freight charges.
In return for my shareholdings? Good heavens, no, sir. Such a venture would yield me less than the amount already been offered by Mr. Fogarty.
Just a minute, I haven't finished. Now, that cargo would bring you a profit of, say, £5,000. Now, in addition, and here's your sportsmanship, you sell your holding at the original price of £5,000 to whichever one of us gets back to Liverpool first.
That'll give him a profit of £10,000.
Well, not the sportsman that I took you for, eh? I shall leave you with Mr. Fogarty's first offer of £6,000.
Just one moment, sir. A race.
One that you couldn't lose.
I like the notion. Mr. Fogarty, do you accept the challenge?
Those shares are as good as mine.
So, the winner of the race gains control of the company.
That's right.
And the loser?
Well, he just loses the cost of the voyage.
What are your chances?
Fogarty's got nothing to touch the Osborne.
Fogarty's got the Pandora ready to sail at a moment's notice. He's had it completely re-rigged. I should say that she is the fastest ship out of Liverpool.
Then I'd better start packing right away.
Packing?
Yes, James.
You're not recovered well enough yet to undertake a long voyage.
Dr. Collister recommended a complete rest. I intend to take his advice.
She's recovered.
Pandora hasn't passed the lock gates yet.
First blood to us.
Don't trumpet victory yet, Mr. Baines. We've a long haul ahead of us.
China fleet, Mr. Baines. Right. Bring around. Steer west-southwest. We'll head the pack.
Aye, aye, sir.
The race is on. Not the usual race for us, Anne. Much more at stake this time. Eh?